Hello, everybody. Russian Batman here. Back. Welcome back. Is what I meant to say. Back to another video of random rants. This is if you don't know, just a brief recap on the series. This is just unscripted rants on whatever I feel like in the moment. So this is the first one was on Book of Boba Fett. And this one is primarily focused on the new movie that came out by DreamWorks called The Bad Guys. I was originally thinking about making this video about The Bad Guys and the Sonic movie 2, like kind of like a double review. But then I realized I actually don't have as much to say about the Sonic movie. I saw it, don't get me wrong. I loved I thought it was a very good movie. But yeah, I mean that's kind of it. It was just kind of a fun movie, you know? I was kind of surprised about how I thought like a lot more people on the internet would be a bit more critical of the movie because there are aspects that are, because you hear everyone complains about like, tropes and whatnot and MacGuffin stories and yada yada yada. But this, like, not a lot of people have been saying that about this movie, which it is the Sonic movie is a MacGuffin kind of movie, and there are some like predictable tropes and whatnot, but it's just a fun movie, and I'm glad people saw it for a fun movie. Which is kind of, tropes don't matter if the movie's fun, in my opinion. It just, it's entertaining. It's supposed to be entertainment. But let me get on to the main subject of the video, which is the bad guys. And if you are talking about entertainment, oh boy, it was entertaining. It was very entertaining. I loved the bad guys. I mean, not more than I expected to, because seeing the trailers, I was kind of hyped for it, just based off the visuals alone and what it kind of presented. But it's just phenomenal. I mean, I loved it. First off, let's just get over the visuals. Amazing. It's like a lot of people comparing it to things like, Into the Spider-Verse and how it does the effects. And it does seem like DreamWorks is going to the more stylized direction. You could definitely see that in like the Puss in Boots trailer. They are trying to stylize their stuff more, which I appreciate. Everything looking, because you've got a lot of studios that try to make all their animated movies look super realistic and whatnot, when it kind of defeats the purpose of it being animated. If it's gonna be super realistic, just shoot a movie. Don't, it doesn't feel like there's a purpose for it being animated. Where a movie like this, you couldn't replicate this with real people at all. Like, look at Encanto or like Moana. You could get you could get people to act it out, and it could look almost identical. If you just get people with the right builds and you use CGI and stuff. Like I said, you couldn't make the bad guys live action and look good. Like, it has to be animated, which I really like. It takes kind of the it kind of reminds you a little bit of the like Hotel Transylvania, of how expressive it is. But you really tell that with like a lot of the posing is really nice. Like, and just everything. Like, you see these little moments when like you see this throughout the film. Like, I think towards the beginning, you could even see the scene on YouTube when there's a car driving, and it's like, and it goes kind of in the air a little bit, and they kind of, all the characters kind of are floating out of the car, and they try to swim in the air back to the car. There's like little things like that cement it as like, yeah, this is a animated movie, and it doesn't shy away from the fact that it's animated and expressive and overall very exaggerated. I'm not going into spoilers yet. I forgot to tell you that. I'll give a big spoiler warning when I'm going into more spoilers, but for now, I'm just talking just about visuals and generic things. That's, like I said, one of my favorite aspects alone is just the visuals. Like, if you think, like, Into the Spider-Verse is very good, and this is very good. It's not as, comic booky as Into the Spider-Verse, as, like, Into the Spider-Verse, very comic book inspired, so you see that in the film. And this is very kind of, it's obviously, it's a spy movie, not a spy movie, like a heist movie. So you got a lot of inspiration of that in the movie. And it's, like I said, just animated in general, so everything's exaggerated to the max. And it's, yeah, I think it's just kind of, it's just very appealing to look at. Not only is it expressive, but it just looks good. It just looks very good. So I've been ranting about how it looks for a while. So let me move on to some other things. All the performances, the voice acting, Great. Just the banter alone is one of the best things about this movie. The banter, and then like just just the characters in general are very, very enjoying to watch. You got the main crew, which consists of, and I love this. It's really funny. Okay, because if you really think about the world, it doesn't make sense, but you could kind of tell that the world, like, it doesn't really care that it doesn't make sense, like it just kind of does it, which I kind of like, because you have the whole people, people talk about how like Goofy's a dog, but then like Pluto's a dog, so it doesn't make sense. It kind of has the same thing here, where there's like a hamster character, but then there's also like pet hamsters, but there's only a few characters in the movie are animals, but all the background characters are humans, and there's not a single animal background character that it's like sentient. So in that aspect, doesn't make sense, but it's still pretty, like, it doesn't really care that it doesn't make sense and just goes with it, which is great. And it just, and you also, you don't think about how it doesn't make sense, because there are some movies. Okay, I'm gonna side tangent. This is like, I think I'm gonna get hate for this. This is an aspect why I don't think Ratatouille is that great, because there are so many. It's so like, a lot of it feels very realistic and grounded. So when they introduce a rat controlling someone with their hair to cook food, I just don't believe it. Like, it just seems so dumb and out of place to me. Where in like a movie like this, everything is dumb, so nothing is dumb. You know what I mean? Like, I'm gonna get hate for this, but Ratatouille, it goes out of the way to show like, this is a real world, this is realistic. Animals don't talk to people, yada yada. But then this rat learns how to cook by watching TV and looking at a cookbook, and becomes the best chef in the world. Like, that to me, I just can't buy that. But in this movie, there's things that don't make sense, but you buy it because the whole world doesn't make sense. Like this whole gimmick where each character of the main group, they have their special roles. So the tarantula is the hack wizard because she has multiple legs and she can she's on the web. That's, you call a web heb. So she's the hacker, right? Then you got the snake is kind of the locksmith guy. He could break into anything. You got the wolf as the leader because he's the leader of the pack, the head wolf. And then you get onto the piranha is the crazy one. He's the loose cannon, so that kind of makes sense. He's a piranha. Then you get onto the shark, right? So you think the shark might be like the muscle or something, or or something like that. Or the heavy weapons guy, but then it turns out the shark is the master of disguise. He's the disguise master, and he knows how to disguise anything. Although it's still super obvious. It's just a shark wearing like a mustache. Like, they show the intro scene. It's not a spoiler because I think this is in like kind of the trailer. But like, he tries to go through this like high security, right? And he's going to the security guard, and the security guard's like, wait, show me some ID. He shows this like picture of some dude with a mustache, and then he turns back to the shark, and it's just the shark with the fake glasses and the mustache, and like, all right, come on in. Like, it just doesn't make any sense, but I love it because of that. It's just so wacky. Oh my god. You know what? Oh, I got okay. Minor spoiler, not major spoiler, but minor spoiler. So okay, you know what? From now on, there's gonna be some spoilers, so you've been warned. I won't give any major spoilers, but minor spoilers if you're worried about that. But there's a scene where it's so funny. They're trying to break into this building, and they show it in the trailer. It's this little like hamster place to free these hamsters, right? Or no, guinea pigs. My bad. So they're trying to break in. There's a security guard there, right? And then the shark comes in with a mitt and like a fake gray mustache. And this security guard looks back, just like, Dad? And he's like, yes, I am your father. Let's play some ball. And he gets like a ball, and he wants play catch with his son. And the security guard believes it. He's like, Dad, I haven't seen you in so long. And he's like, go long, son. And he goes to throw him the buttons. It's so dumb, but I just love it because of that. It's just one of those movies. You just it knows it's like dumb, and it just goes with it. It is great. That's a good example of just the disguise thing and just how, and also other characters like wear disguises too. It's not just the shark, even though he's supposed to be the disguise master. Other people do that too, and it's just as funny. Like the wolf has like a single like mustache and a hat, and he pretends to be someone else. And as soon as the mustache falls off, everyone looks back. It's like, it's the wolf! It's the wolf! Get him! And it's, oh, like I said, just stuff like that. It's so dumb, but it's so good. Like at the same time, like I don't know how to explain it. And you know what? Screw it. I'm just gonna get into full spoiler territory. If you don't, I recommend. I mean, a lot of the stuff in the film you're gonna see coming from ahead of time. So the spoilers I don't think are that important with this movie. I think it's just the experience of seeing it that is the best. You know, because like I feel like if I knew the whole entire plot of the movie, the movie wouldn't be ruined. It's not one of those movies where it would be ruined if you knew. If you knew, it's fine. But still, if you don't want spoilers, turn back now. But yeah, there's some other things about this film. So they have a twist villain. The hamster turns out to be the main bad guy. But I don't know. It just isn't. It doesn't feel like the twist villain in this. It feels so out of place where it makes sense. You know. Like, you got a whole... there's so many things about this film where I'm like, that works. And then I look at the exact same thing in a different film, and I'm like, that doesn't work. Like, they use a lot of tropes in this film, but I feel like in this film, it just works. You know, you just watch it, and you're just like, yeah. When other films you watch, you're like, no. Like, the twist villain in this, it's so exaggerated and so... fun. Maybe I need to watch like a film analysis on this to see why it works in this movie and it just doesn't in other movies. Like the twist villain, it just works in this, you know? I've heard some arguments like it's because he doesn't like change his mannerism. Like, and you get little hints about it. I noticed in the beginning, he says that he does good things because it makes, not for other people, because it makes him feel better, which to me was a red flag because, you know, you don't usually hear that in a moral of a movie, like, oh, do good things for yourself. No, you usually hear do good things because of others. So it was interesting how he said that. So I'm like, that's suspicious. I wasn't actually expecting him to be the full-on, like, villain. But, you know, there are little things like that. I thought he was just kind of supposed to be an annoying goody two-shoe, but then he turns out to be the, you know, kind of the big bad villain with this whole space rock plot. And it's just goofy. And it works. Like I said, it works. Also, some other things that surprisingly worked is there was a breakup. You know, you have this in a lot of animated movies, the crew breaking up scene where, like, one member lied to the other. So the whole crew is like, we gotta leave, you know. Usually in movies that you watch that and you just kind of... A lot of people really don't like that because it's used a lot. And I see why it's used. But I feel like in this movie, it works to me because... Not just because it's a lie, it's like a misunderstanding. You know, to me, because the best part of this film is the relationship between Snake and Wolf, I feel like. Because it's just so... Because I thought it would just be kind of... based off the trailers, I thought it might be generic, where it's just like, oh, Snake wants to be bad and Wolf wants to be good, and that's the entire conflict. But it feels like it's more than that. Like, the breakup scene, I got actually a little bit emotional. I'm not going to lie. Like, when he explains why he does, like, I don't, to me, not relate, but I really like Outcast stories, like Shrek and Megamind, and DreamWorks is really good at this, but I really like Outcast stories. I don't know why, because, I mean, not like I'm a major Outcast, or, they're just like me, but I don't know why, they're just so emotional, like, damn, you know, it's like, okay, let me go back to the breakup scene, and he was talking about, like, because this is whole, like, thing about he doesn't like birthdays. And he explains, like, during that scene, like, why he doesn't like birthdays. And it just, I don't know, I felt that, you know? He's like, he's like, you want to know why I don't like birthdays? He's like, because no one shows up to a snake's birthday. So a birthday for a snake is a constant reminder of, like, is a constant reminder that you're alone or something like that. It was something like that. But that, I just heard that, I was like, dang. I mean, it's not like super deep or anything, but I don't know why. I just thought that was cool because you see throughout the movie, you know, Snake, there's not like a big sign that Snake, you know, is super against going good until like afterwards. there's like, because you really see he just kind of wants to be there with Wolf, because there's like this bedroom scene where Snake is like, hey, the plan, okay, so we're doing this, to go back to being bad. And he's like, oh yeah, that's the plan, It's like, yeah, we're just doing, it's just an act. It's like, well, okay, hey, Wolf, if the plan changes, you would let us know, right? And then he's like, yeah, of course I would, because he kind of secretly wants to go good. But you could tell that the Snake, he just wants his friend, He just wants to be there. He just wants to be with his friend, kind of no matter what. Like, obviously, he says, like, oh, yeah, we'll be bad. But he's like, hey, if the plan changes, you'll let us know. And he has this kind of honest conversation where it's a bit vulnerable. So I feel like because of, like, that and whatnot, it really, I think it just kind of makes the splitting up scene a bit more impactful. I think some people would disagree. I know some people are really against the trope where if they see like a breakup scene in the animated movie, they're like, oh, it's the worst thing in the world. This is garbage. Oh, and there's a lot of thing with tropes. You kind of have to like, it makes the story a bit predictable and whatnot. And they're obviously gonna get back together, but still, I mean, it just the film's entertaining. I think people need to give tropes a little bit less of a hard time. I mean, I guess if it actively makes the movie worse because of it, you could give it a hard time. But I feel like in this case, it really doesn't. Like, I'm like, okay, it's a breakup trope. Whatever. The movie is still really good, And like I said, I think that's true. The movie is excellent. I do highly recommend seeing it if you haven't. Some other things that were great. I love the double cross that Snake did at the end. I mean, you could kind of see it coming. That like Snake wouldn't. I don't think Snake would fully betray, his friends. But still, you see it coming. But it's so great when it happens. When he explains he did like the switcheroo, and then he's like, and the thing's gonna blow up now, and he like puts his little like tail there, and it's like framed where it looks like it's blowing up in his hand, in his like tail hand thing. It was great. Like the slick talk done in this, like every like the Wolf and Snake are just so slick with everything they do, and it's really fun to watch. That's the best way to explain this movie. It's just really fun to watch. And Snake, and if they do, like a sequel, or I heard someone on the internet say that they should do a show about this. Like, how they do, like, spin-off shows with the DreamWorks films. If they do that, it would be really cool, because then they could explore the other characters a bit more. Because all the other characters, all the main characters of the group are really fun as well, but they're not explored as much as Snake and Wolf are. They're the most, like, fleshed out. Like I said, Shark, Piranha, and Tarantula, they're fun, but they don't they don't get a lot of time to get focused on. So that's what I've heard. Like, if they'd done a show about this, if they do a show, then they could focus a lot more on those other characters and get them fleshed out a little bit more. So you could kind of know a bit more about them. But I did really like them, and like I said, just how expressive like Snake is too. Like he uses the end of his tail as a hand multiple times throughout the movie. Like he makes a thumbs up by like twisting it around and have the end go up. Like it's really creative, just the posing and everything. Like you have this the main cop that's always chasing them, the chief of police. It gives me major Lupin the Third vibes, or Lupin the Third vibes, where like it's this one police chief. He's like, "You get over here, you dastardly wolf!" Or he's like, "Oh, it's the bad guys." And she's like constantly like flailing her fist at them, and she has just like an army of police officers always chasing him. It gives me major Lupin vibes, and I love that. It's just really funny just to see, and she's like super buff as well, which is, I think her character design is also funny. I think I've heard other people don't like her character design. I think it's just really funny, just really buff police chief, and always looking for the bad guys, and it's just great. And like I said, just the swarms of police officers that like show up is hilarious. You get you get one scene where there's like police officers from like they're this car chase. Police officers on the right, police officers on the left. They're both going towards each other, but then the car like swerves away, and you see just tons of police cars just ramming into each other, piling up. and it's really cool. I think also in the animation, I've noticed sometimes they'll actually, I don't know for sure, but it looks like during certain scenes to make it like more impactful, they'll lower the frame rate. I might be wrong, but I know it's like when the cars are crashing, it looks a bit choppier, which is actually good. It gives you, it kind of, I don't know, I just like it. You know, they'll do little things like that, like lower the frame rate or add like dramatic like lines and whatnot, or like they'll outline the character in certain scenes to make it more impactful. But I just think it looks, like I said, just looks really good. There's some like other little jokes too, like obviously the fact that they're called the bad guys, you know, they're just called the bad guys. Yeah, they're just bad, you know. So they're called like it's so on the nose, but it's so fun because of that. They're called the bad guys. Each character, their names like Mr. Wolf, Mr. Snake, Mr. It's just what they are, and that's just their name, and it's just funny. I don't know why. Like I think there was a prison complex, and it was just called Scum. Like, but it was like an acronym. I don't even know what it was an acronym for, but it's just called Scum. And it was like in the middle of the ocean. I don't know, just little details like that I find really funny. And some of the other characters were good as well. Like I'm trying to think, the Fox lady. I honestly don't remember her name because her name's not Mrs. Fox. So, you know. Damn, they couldn't. They need to name every character just what they are, just to make it easy to remember the names. And then you got the hamster. The hamster had this like henchman that was always with him, and like when he was supposed to be good, like it looks like the most innocent henchman, like innocent like butler ever. But as soon as it turns evil and he just like turns his eyebrows down, it looks. The character designs are just phenomenal. I love how cartoony they look, and just they don't. Oh, and a lot of people might give like the bean mouth argument. I don't like this argument. People are like, oh, it doesn't look good because they got the bean mouth. Their mouth looks like a bean. Oh my god, it's trash because their mouth looks like a bean. Oh my god, oh cringe. I'm like, man, I'm dead. It's a cartoon, man. It's exaggerated, and but yeah, I just really like this movie. Go watch it, please. It is some really cool stuff. If you have, a weekend where you're not doing much, go watch The Bad Guys. Please go watch The Bad Guys. It's very good. It's extremely good. I'm not gonna lie. Be real with you for a second. If you're just talking about pure entertainment, okay, this might be heresy. But not gonna lie. Might be slightly more entertaining than Rango. I know, I'm gonna be crucified for that, but it is really good, and it's definitely gonna be a movie when it comes to streaming that I'm gonna rewatch a lot. But yeah, and I don't know how popular it is. I've heard some people saying their theaters were relatively empty when they saw it. My theater was packed full of like really small children, so it was kind of annoying. But yeah, I hope the movie does well. If not, it'll probably do well when it comes to streaming. I don't know what streaming service they're gonna release it on. Let me think. It's you always got to remember like, okay, this is from this company, so it's going to this streaming service. But I don't think Universal / DreamWorks has one, so they'll probably put it on Netflix because I think DreamWorks has released a lot of their stuff on Netflix. Yeah, I think that's what they've done in the past. So. Yeah, that's all I gotta say. So this is a bit shorter. So yeah, it's not an hour-long video. You're welcome, ranting about the Book of Boba Fett. I guess when you have good stuff to say, you have less to say than the bad stuff. I think that's a wise quote. There's always more bad stuff to say than there is good stuff. When a movie's perfect, you just say it's perfect. When a movie's bad, you're like it's bad because of A, B, C, and D. Well, I guess you could apply that to good stuff as well. I'm rambling for too long. Go have a nice day. Go outside. Go touch some grass. Go listen to the wind. Life is good, man. Sometimes you forget that. But man, look. I'm just looking outside right now. It's so pretty. The sky's blue. Yeah. Go watch the 2011 film Rango. And just importantly, have a great day, my guy. Just a wonderful. Please, just you might think you're not having a good day. You could change that. Want to know how? Just have a good day. That's all you gotta do. You just gotta. It's a mindset. It's a way of thinking. Go watch the 2011 from Rango and just have an excellent day. Okay, see ya. Oh, subscribe if you want to. By the way, I don't know if I mentioned that. I don't know if I have to subscribe, but.